Hello, my friend. My name is Jeff Burchell. I'm going to just refresh the page here and make sure everything's working. I'll be getting started here in just a second. Just want to make sure that we're live. It's been a while since I've done a hangout, so let's see here. I think everything's live. I think we're streaming. Once again, my name is Jeff Burchell. I'm coming to you from my house in Shawnee, Oklahoma. I've been out here for a couple years. I actually grew up most of my life in Las Vegas, and that's what I'll be talking about a bit today. I'll be sharing a little bit of my story about where I came from and just how I got into what I do today, and just share with you a little bit here. So hopefully the sound is good. I'm trying something a little bit different. I've got my microphone hooked up here to my phone, and I'm streaming off my phone. So hopefully this is all good. I'm just gonna check one last thing before I really get into the content here and just make sure. It seems to be. I sure hope so. These things, I'm not an expert at this, and I'm just an average guy and trying to do something a little bit outside the average way of life, right? I got, like in my email, if you read my email, I got my start. I come from a drafting room. I was a draftsman for a long time. I didn't actually finish high school or go to college, so I'm not an engineer, not an architect. I wanted to be an architect when I was a kid. When I was about 12 years old, I got that put in my mind. My mom supplanted that in my mind, and for a long time, that's what I wanted to do. When I was in going from junior to senior year, I went to do an internship at an architecture firm, and there was this guy there. He is just this bitter, angry dude. I mean, he just hated what he was doing, and he managed to just kind of instill that with me too. And I left that interview wanting absolutely nothing to do with architecture. I had taken drafting and architecture in high school, and I just went in a completely different direction. I went out into the working world, and I got a job. I got a job at Taco Bell. I worked found myself working at a sign company at some point along the road, and got my start in the sign business, soldering together electronic component boards. I'd sit at a little station, and I'd have a handful of components, and I would stuff them into a soldering board, and that's actually, and then we'd put it through this machine and solder it all together, and that's how I got my start in the sign business. Over time, I eventually moved out to the shop, and I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective here. The sign company is one of the largest sign companies in the world, and it's in Las Vegas. They build those gigantic signs that you see outside the casinos. I moved into the interior gaming division, which built the signs that go above slot machines. So worked in the shop for a little while, running a CNC router, and then went into the drafting office. And I can still remember my first sign that I ever drafted because I was really excited. I was really pumped up to be given that opportunity, especially coming from the background. And that's something I talk about in my other videos, is those self-limiting beliefs and believing that where we're from has something to do with where we're going. Well, I had a belief that I was only destined for one thing because of choices that I made, but in reality, because I worked hard, because I showed enthusiasm, because I showed effort, I was given opportunities to move up inside the company. And I can still remember that first sign I drafted. It was for Monopoly slot machines at the New York Hotel and Casino. And it was exciting. It was exciting to be a part of something. It was exciting to be doing something that at that time had some meaning to me, because heck, it was more money than I'd ever made in my life. And I was in my early 20s, and it was a great job for me at that point. Along my path there, I was bitten by the entrepreneur bug. I actually read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad back in like 1999 or 2000, shortly after it came out, and I learned about passive income. And I sometimes wonder if this was a good thing or a bad thing, because I've made some just awful choices since then. I tried to get into real estate and ended up way over my head in having a rental house and my primary residency. I've tried so many different businesses. I can't even describe all of them to you. And this, we'd be here for hours talking about all the crazy shit that I've done and tried to do, and with very little results in most cases. But going backwards even a little bit further in my life, that bug was already planted there, because when I was about, I don't know, 13 or so, maybe even a little younger, my parents got into Amway. So some of their friends came to our house and brought in the whiteboard and drew the circles on the board, and they got started. And I could do that presentation probably better than my parents, but there was a little lack of credibility, right, for a 13-year-old to be doing an Amway presentation to people. But I learned about what network marketing at that point was, and later on in my life when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, because he talks about network marketing in that as well, that bug was kind of reignited in me, thinking, there is a way to create passive incomes for people that can't just go out and buy a franchise business, right? I don't know about you, but I don't have a couple $100,000 to $1 million laying around that I can go just buy a franchise and be in business. But that doesn't mean that I don't have that desire, that passion to do more, because I do. And I'm assuming you do too, because you probably wouldn't even be seeing my emails or reading this if you weren't interested in making money online, right? Because that's the only way you're getting my emails, is that you've subscribed looking for more information. So over the years, I've done so many different things. Got started online back in 2002, doing first it was bikini girl websites, and eventually progressed into something a little more um, risque. We'll put it like that, right? Okay. Some laws changed, and I decided I wanted to go mainstream. So I used those principles I learned with the bikini sites and started making a website for, it was called a DVD to PSP converter, right? Those old PlayStation portables back in the day, you could take your DVDs and put them in your computer and run this program, and it would save them down so that you could actually watch movies on your PlayStation Portable. And so I built a little 3-page website, and at that time, it was a pain in the ass, let me tell you. You had to know HTML, I had to have Dreamweaver, I had to have hosting, I had to have a domain, had to know how to use it all, how to connect it all, put it all together. So I created this simple 3-page website, and back in 2002, 2003, that was really all you needed. Some content on there, and it was pretty easy to wind up on Google. And I ended up making about $700 over the course of a couple days through selling that affiliate product as an affiliate. So I expanded out and tried some other products, and then I got in over my head again with some stupid stuff. They were these paid to surf sites, and that's a story for another time too. But it was a whole Ponzi type scheme that was going around for a little bit there, that a lot of people got suckered into and lost a lot of money. And I lost a lot of money, and I had to go back to work. I had to go back to a job, because at that point I had actually gone full time with my first internet marketing website design business, and I ended up losing everything and back at the drafting board, right back to the drafting board. So, but again, I had learned so much that at that point it was already in me. That the bug was already there, that I wanted to do more. I wanted to have more, and so I did give it a break for a while. But in 2007, when my son was born, I decided that, what, I've got all this information. I've got my family that I've started now. I want to start doing more with my life. I want to start utilizing some of those skills. I know it was possible because I'd made money online before, so I know that it's possible to do it. I just needed to find a new way. And I think a problem that a lot of people have is that they look at stuff online and they think it's much more difficult than it actually is. They think that there's gurus out there that have some special skill and can do this, and that they can't. And in all reality, with the systems, tools, and just what's at hand today, we all have an equal opportunity. We all have the same ability to earn online and earn a passive income. It's just a matter of utilizing that. But we'll talk about that stuff later, because mindset is a big deal. Mindset is a big factor to all my past failures. It was believing that there was gurus that knew something more than I did, or had some special skill other than I did, and I would buy all these courses. When I got back into website and marketing after my son was born, I bought just tons of courses, one right after another, of all these, and some so-called push button overnight wake up and your blog has 1 million visits to it. And I wasn't even really blogging at that time. I was using the WordPress blog because I discovered that, and it was becoming real popular back then. because it was simple. It was really, really easy. Everything was web-based. No more HTML, no more Dreamweaver. You could just upload photos right to it, find a nice theme, and bam, you were done. But there was still plugins and updates and themes and premium plugins and just a list of other stuff that, once you started buying into these automated blogging systems, that it wasn't really so automated. First off, you had to do a ton of content. You had to write a ton of articles to fill that blog, and then you had to continually do it. And even though that they gave you some content, um, search engines don't really like it when you're just taking other content right off the web and sticking it on your website. So you actually lose ranking because of doing that now. But back then, article marketing was big, so it was a play of the two. You would write an article, you'd put it through an article spinner, you'd put one article on your blog, one article on Ezine Articles or another article website, and with a link pointing back to your blog, and your blog would have a capture page, because the essence is always the same in marketing. You have a lead capture page, you have a product offer, then you have a follow-up, right? And if you get my emails, you've gone through some of that process already. You've already went to a capture page and put in your email address. You watched a video, the product offer, right? And then you get my emails. And the reason I email you, the reason I decided to shoot this video today, was because it's how I let you get to know me. It's how I let you see that I'm just an average guy who wants an above average life, and I want to help other people to achieve that, to have that ability as well. That's why I do this. That's why I've stuck with what I've been doing for so long, because I know the potential. I know that anybody that's willing to put in the effort, that's willing to put in some work, because it does take work, guys. Let's be honest here, okay? This is not a Ponzi. I was listening to an audio this morning from the founder of the company, and he was talking about how a lot of time people get off that this is a Ponzi scheme. And I joined last night and I did a blog post and I woke up and nothing this morning. And people actually get really upset about that. It's true. It really does happen. And he was talking about how let's think about, like, if they were to sell us a job the same way that we talk about network marketing and internet marketing, affiliate marketing. If our student counselor back in high school would have told us exactly what it was really going to be like, we probably would have said, hell no, I'm not doing that. You're going to go to school for the next 4 years. You're going to go through grueling tests and grueling deadlines to finish your papers. Then you're going to have to go to postgraduate school, depending on what you're going to do. Then you're going to intern at a company, and you're going to start there with the lowest pay possible, and you're going to have to work like a dog. And this is basically what this guy at that architecture firm told me. And I said hell no to that. And then people, they look at internet marketing and think, oh man, I'm gonna have to learn something. This is a scheme, it's gotta be. And it's just a crazy mindset that we have, because we're so conditioned and so programmed by our society and our environment, our culture, that we believe that the only way to achieve success is to go through this laborious, intensive process of getting a job, going through college and getting a job is the only path to freedom. And what does it equate to? 40 years, working 40 hours a week for 40 years to eventually live on 40% of your income. I don't know, dude. Sounds like a scam to me. But I think differently too, and I hope you do too. I hope you think a little bit outside the box and realize that there are other ways, that there are other potential avenues, potential directions to take your life, if you're willing to put in a little work. I'm not talking about a lot of work here either. Let me describe to you my average business day, my online business day. I'm I've really got into videos. If you're on my list, if you're watching this, you've probably noticed that all my blog posts lately have been video. So I get out my phone, I'm my iPhone, and I shoot a 2 to 3 minute, maybe 4 or 5 minute video. I upload it to YouTube. I type just a little bit of text to go with it, give a little description of what I'm doing. I embed that stuff on my blog, maybe find a picture that kind of relates, because people like pictures. So, on a blog, it's nice to have a picture. I find a picture, and then I publish my blog. I write a quick little email that I send out to you, my subscribers, to invite you to come back to my blog and check it out. And then I post it on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and a couple other social media sites. And that's pretty much it. And then a couple times a week, I get on a company events, a Monday night call, a Thursday night webinar. We've got a team hangout on Wednesday nights. And, if you make the decision today too, that, yeah, I want to see what this is all about, you're not going to be alone. You're going to be in a group of people that are all working, all like-minded people working towards the same objective of personal freedom, right? It's your own business, but it doesn't mean you're going to be on your own. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, at 8:30 or 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we get together as a team and we all hang out and we discuss first off, we do a new member orientation so that we can show you exactly what you should be doing and focusing on when you get started. Then we talk about what's working this week. What should the team and the group as a whole be focusing on? And we do this every Wednesday night. And there's three leaders on our team. One's $1 million earner, two are multi 6-figure earners, well on their way to the million mark too. And hey, if I mention anything about money, there's an income disclaimer right at the bottom of this page. Go ahead and click that if you want to see what average incomes are. But keep in mind that that's what average people do. And I know you're not average. I know that you're above average, or you wouldn't even be watching this. So don't even worry about that stuff. And let's focus on right now. Let's focus on the future. Let's focus on what changes we can make. What can we do to get out of the slump that we might be in? Because I know we're all in slumps at time. When I got started with this company, I was in a bad place in my life. In 2012, we got the diagnosis of my son. He has a little kidney condition. At that time, I had no way of processing that information. Nobody does as a parent. We're just not ever ready for that kind of information, that our child might have to go through something that we have absolutely no control over. So I was struggling. I was in a really, really bad place. And I decided that I needed to get into something to kind of distract myself. And I found a food company. It was a network marketing company based on a 25-year food storage company. And it had some cool features, like you were able to give free meals to people and then help give them an opportunity. So that's a big reason why I picked it, because I liked the idea of paying it forward. I didn't know, sometime up in the future, if I was going to maybe need a little hand up, if I was going to need a little help. So I wanted to do something to start paying it forward sooner rather than later. And that's why I got started with that particular company. There was the same old problems though, that I really didn't know how to duplicate it. I didn't know how to get somebody started and show them exactly what to do. Like I said, I had some internet experience. I knew how to get some views on a website, how to get some subscribers to the list and that kind of thing. But what about the person that maybe just turned on the computer today, maybe just picked up their first smartphone today? Don't they deserve an equal opportunity to achieve their goals and their dreams and find financial freedom online as well? Absolutely, they do. And that's what I love about the system. When I found it, and it's evolved substantially, I can't even begin to describe how much it's changed in the past 3 years since I got started. But today, a person can get started for $7, and that button should have appeared below this video by now. For $7, you can get started, and there's a 4-step startup. Okay, there's a video to watch, a fast start watch. You fill out a little checklist, and then you do a blog post, and that will literally give you everything you need to know about the products, about the business, about the community, about the vision, and why we're doing this. All right there. And if you do it within the first 24 hours after getting started, there's $1,000 bonus waiting for you too as soon as you complete those. But you got to hurry. You got to make the decision. All right, I'm going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and click the button. I'm going to pay the $7. I'm going to get out my credit card. It's right here, so I'm going to just get it out, and I'm going to pay the $7. And I'm going to go through the 4-step startup, and I'm going to see for myself what this is all about. Because look, if you can go online and search any company, add the word scam to the end, and you're going to find stuff, right? Mostly what you're going to find is other people selling their shit because they're trying to say that this is scam over here, but hey, I've got the golden stuff over here. And it's all a matter of perspective. And if you have that outside perspective, you don't have a good perspective at all. So why not just see it from the inside? See it for yourself with your own eyes. Hear the people speak with your own ears. Feel it with your own heart, your own gut. Is it right for you? And that's the only way you can make a good decision. And hey, look, you've got to actually do it too. You can't just join and then 2 weeks later just quit. You've got to go through the steps. You got to respond to my emails when I reach out to contact you. You got to let me know you're there. You got to let me know that you got started. So right after you get my email saying, "Hey, welcome to the team," respond back so that I know you're there. I want to help you. I really honestly do. I know that's been one of my biggest shortcomings, and I learned this last week or 2 weekends ago in the Generation Hero event. It was a company event and it was a live stream. Some of the top producers got together down in Miami. And my biggest shortcoming, where I fucked up the biggest in this, in helping people, is I wasn't calling them after they joined. So here's my commitment to you. Here is my commitment aloud and to the universe and to you, that if you click that link and you join, I guarantee I will call you and say hello. I'm not going to call you to pitch this though, because it doesn't work like that. I don't want you getting on the phone calling people. That's not what this is about. I don't want you to think you have to go to home meetings or hotel meetings. It's not like that. But we need to know that we're there, right? We need to know that we're real people working together. So that's why I'll call you. I've made this commitment. I'm dedicated to it, and I'll call and I'll say, "Hey, how are you? What can I do to help? Did you watch the fast start videos? Did you get started? Did you fill out the checklist? What's next?" And we'll develop a game plan. If you've gone through those steps, I'll even do a coaching with you for a little bit. We'll spend some time talking. I'd rather you go through the 4 steps first before we do that coaching call, but I'm going to reach out to you and just say, "Hey," for sure. You'll get a text, you'll get an email, and you'll get a phone call, because I want you to know that you're not alone. That's why I'm doing this live. That's why I got on this hangout today, because I know I've been lacking in that live stuff of a video you think can be scripted. I don't have a script here, my friend. I don't. I have a little piece of paper here that I jotted out 12 steps, and it's a formula that is taught within the products of the company, and it's just a guide. But other than that, I'm not coming to you with some scripted presentation today. I'm just talking to you from my heart. I'm talking to you just what's on my mind today, sharing with you who I am, because I want you to know that I'm just a real person, that my videos aren't scripted, the videos I make daily. And it wasn't always that way for me. Let me tell you, when I did my first Google Hangout, it was with one of my business partners, Dan, and I was so scared, my knees were shaking. I was sweating uncontrollably. My palms were like soaking wet. I was terrified. My first videos were awful. My first YouTube channel got shut down. There were some haters out there for a little bit targeting our YouTube videos, and it got shut down. And I kind of wish I had it still, because some of my first videos, I was very monotone, and I would talk like this through the whole video. "Welcome to my video. My name is Jeff Virtual." It was awful, my friend. It was awful. And there was times that I was reading articles that it was maybe some pictures that were a slideshow, right? And I was reading an article in monotone like that. It was awful because I was terrified. They say that making videos is actually the next best thing to Toastmasters to overcome your fear of public speaking. Did you know that? A little tip for you there. If you've got those fears, if you're worried about speaking in front of other people, a great way to overcome those fears is get out your smartphone and start making videos. Now, how do we come up with this content? That might be another problem, right? You're thinking, well, how in the hell do I make a video every day? What do I talk about? Well, part of our core commitments of the business, a couple of them are focused on personal development. And, that's a big reason why I got started. When I was going through that challenge, when I was trying to understand what was going on inside my mind, when I was and wanting to get back to grips with it so I could be there for my son, I needed personal development. Whoop, sorry about that. so, so that was important to me. And part of our product, part of our core commitments is sorry, I'm kind of laughing because I'm watching on my screen while I saw the Camera fall over. A little off topic here. Did you know that the reason they use laugh tracks is because that's a psychological trigger? We all know they're there, right? We all know we're watching a TV show and there's not a live audience, and it's this canned laughter, and yet we laugh along with it because it's this psychological trigger, and TV executives know that it works, and that's why they use it. A little extra bonus tip there for you, right? That sometimes even our laughter is kind of being manipulated. So where was I totally got off my train of thought now, talking about canned laughter. So let's see. So the personal development, right? Two of them are, one is to read daily, and read something, fiction or not nonfiction, right? Read about people, read autobiographies, read Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. It's a great book. It's a wonderful starter book for anybody starting the journey to personal development and entrepreneurship and success principles. The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill as well. Um, As a Man Thinketh. These are all free too. You can find those books free online, download them straight to your phone and read them. We also listen to audio daily. That's part of our products is the Inner Circle. They're Inner Circle audios, and you can download these audios. You can put them on your phone. You can listen to them. You can stream them from the web, and that's where we get our content from. That's how we find something to be able to share, is by filling our mind with good information. I mean, if you're just filling your mind with junk off the TV and radio, you're probably going to struggle with content for your blog. I'll be honest with you. You're probably going to struggle with content for your videos because sure, maybe you could review TV shows and stuff, but that's a pretty limited amount of content. So by reading, listening to audio, listening to podcasts, getting on YouTube and watching inspirational and motivational videos, great ways to have content. So what we do is we learn, we do, and we teach. So we learn something, we do it, and then we teach it. So you listen to an audio, you implement that into your life, and then you make a short video sharing it, just a couple minutes. People's attention span's real short. I know this video's gone on for quite a few minutes now, but this is a little bit different situation. My normal videos, I do my best to keep them under 5 minutes because let's be honest. We all have short attention spans. We live in a digital age. Everything's happening fast, 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 and we need things delivered to us in a way that's just quick and to the point. And that's why video is so powerful. That's why you basically just got to incorporate video into your business no matter what you're doing. Look at all the different businesses out there that are starting to shoot, almost like iPhone style videos, letting people have an inside look. That's why blogging is so powerful, because we live in a very socially connected world. Social networks and Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, all of them, Twitter, people are constantly getting a look at what's going on. They're seeing the real people inside the businesses through these forms of media, and that's blogging is something that is updated often. We blog daily. I blog daily. It's updated often. It lets you see often who I am. You get to know me. You get to see me. You get to hear my videos. You get to see the consistency, because that's another thing that we really want, is we want to start with somebody that isn't going to just disappear tomorrow. I'm going to be here. I'm committed to this company. I'm committed to what I'm doing. I'm committed to my future. I've got a huge dream for my future, and it doesn't involve Shawnee, Oklahoma for the rest of my life. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. My very best thinking got me to here, but I'm getting better thinking every day because I want to go on. There's places I want to see. There's people I want to meet. There's, places I want to travel to. There's experiences I want to experience in my life. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is by taking consistent daily action, plugging into the business, sticking with it through the good times, through the bad times. Because look, my friend, over the past couple of years, I've had some bad times too. This hasn't been all peaches and cream for me. But today, I get to choose my life, and I get to choose what I do on a daily basis. I don't have a boss. I'm an independent contractor. I do outside sales as my day job, but I work for myself, and I sell signs. Now I totally moved from the back end, from the drafting, from the dark drafting room, to now I'm the guy out meeting the customers and actually, doing the contracts and selling the signs, and that's how I make my day income. But I mean, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in Oklahoma, and I'm on a web stream, visiting with you right now because I get to choose how to spend my time. I get to choose how to spend my days. And it wasn't always that way. When I was in that drafting room, it was 40 hours a week. I had to be there, right? And I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure that if you're watching this replay later tonight, it's because you were at work and you had to be there for 8 hours today, right? And that's the difference. That's the freedom that this business has given me. Am I rolling in dough? No, my friend, I'll be honest with you. I still have my challenges, but I'm fighting through them because I refuse to give up. But my freedom today is the freedom to spend time with my children, is the freedom to um, go where I want during the day, is the freedom to work the hours that I wish to work during the day. And eventually, I know that if I stay consistent, if I stay with what I'm doing, my freedoms will increase. I will continue to work. I will continue to do something for the rest of my life. And my goal is to just provide as much value as possible. My goal is to become as good in my trade of communication and inspiration, because here's my little motto that I say to myself for every day. I empower people with the tools, training, and mindset to live an outstanding life. That's why I do this, because I want to empower you. I know that, like Zig Ziglar said, we can have anything in the world we want if we just help enough other people get what they want. That is the phrase that turned everything around for me back when I was hurting, back when I didn't know what to do, back when I was really struggling. I don't know if we're still live. Let me check something here. But I'll just continue. I don't know if it's recording or not. Back when I was struggling, that was what really turned things around for me, was just that one little saying that you can have everything you want in your life if you just help enough other people get what they want. So I think I'm going to look at my little quick notes, my cheat